Welcome to our Amud Yomi Shiur. Everybody here in Avos Shalom and everybody YouTube channel that we have and the Torah Anytime. Let's just start, yeah? Bava Metzia, pay Amud Beis in the bottom of the page. V'kulan she'amru tol es shelcho, the shiurs le'ilu nishma tov yimoyer Menachem ben Akiva, Rus bas Shalom Sol bas Moshe, and Yeresha bas Elchanan Yitzchak, and le'ilu nishmas the Gadol who was nifter yesterday, Rav Edelstein Zatzal, father of the world of yeshiva, says he said, yeah, very great person, and we're learning for Zilu Neshama. And this is also for the refuah of Naama Bas Rachel Rama, and the refuah of Leo Bas Tomo, Leo Bas Etel Chaya, Aviva Bas Dvor, Besoich Shachol Yisrael. The topic of today's shiur is very easy to define in one word. The topic of most of today's shiur is when does the shmira term end? A person is a shomer, either is a shoél, we're going to discuss, or shomer sochor. When do we say that the term that his shmira term finishes off? In other words, we'll clarify the question. What happens if you borrowed an item from your friend? Let's say it's very clear, you had clear terms, you actually did have clear terms for a change, and you said you borrow his drill for, I don't know, 6 days, and you're supposed to stop finishing it at, I don't know, Friday, 9 o'clock in the morning, and you do. Friday, 9 o'clock in the morning, you stopped drilling, 785 holes all over your house. You finished drilling, that's it. Now, it's still in your house. He didn't come to take it yet. You didn't bring it. It's physically still in your house. Although, you stopped using it as agreed. So the question is, are you still called a shoél? You still say, as long as it's not in his house, you're still a shoél, it's in your house, right? And therefore, if any oinus happens, you still have the status of shoél. And therefore, if an onus happens to it and it's struck by lightning, you have to pay. Or do we say, no, I really finished using it already, and therefore, he knows that it's in my house. He knows it's written contract. He knows at 9 o'clock Friday, then it's over. Then l'chayr it should that I'm not chavin oinsin anymore. That's in general the question that's going to follow us through the entire sugya. So let's go. The Mishnah says that if the person, which person? The shomer socho, which is the uman, remember? We spoke about craftsman. The craftsman, the artist, whatever, he said, the artisan, he said to the owner, listen, I have the wood in your house. Excuse me, you have your wood in my house, Yofi. Now, your wood is really yours, right? Now, it was turned into a most magnificent table. And I'm telling you, toil es shelcho v'haveh mois. I have 3 different versions here. This one is a smiley face. Toil es shelcho v'haveh mois is a very friendly guy, the smiley face. Why? Toil es shelcho v'haveh mois is one way of terminating it by saying that come take it, take your item, and you know what? I'm not holding it back yet. V'hoveh mois, bring me the money later. I trust you. Take it now. You can take the item now. I inform you. WhatsApp, SMS, phone. I'm telling you the item is ready. The job is ready. And I'm telling you, you can pay later. So he turned at that happy moment by just letting the person know, the owner, that the item is ready. Although it's not in his house. It's not even on the way to his house. It's still geographically by me. But that already makes the person shomer chinam, meaning he's down from the level of shomer sochar, the level of shomer chinam. So that terminated the term, right? That is one way of finishing it. That is shomer sochar turning to shomer chinam. That's what the Mishnah says. That's mafurish in the Mishnah. This is the text of the Mishnah. The Mishnah says that this case is what? Is over. In this case, it's game over. And what does it mean game over? He became a shomer chinam down from shomer sochar. It's still by him. It's still in his possession. Because why? Because it is. So it's still shomer chinam. He's still responsible. You can't say, I'm sorry, it takes me half an hour, a day or two to get to your house as the owner. So he's still shomer chinam. He's not gaining anything from it now. Why isn't he gaining? We're going to see later. But Lamaisa, the socher business is done. The job is done. Okay, that's what we said in the Mishnah. Having said that, we're going to present this with a steer. Yeah, pay on the base bottom of the page, my friend. It's not wholesome. We're going to see a Mishnah over there. Over there means later on in our Masechta. Yeah, because by the way, one of the next prokim we're going to see, not the next one, with the one later, is a parak which is going to detail and elaborate everything you wanted to know about the Arba Shoimrim. Yeah. Not wholesome. It says over there. Omer shoél shlach. When does the term of the sheéla, this is now a shoél, a borrower, a shoél, what is he chayiv for? Anybody? I'm hoarse already. Yeah, what is he chayiv on? Just pshia, also greva vaveda, and even oines. A shoél is chayiv on everything. Why? You're a shoél. Kolano shelcha. You're not paying me anything. You're only benefiting from it. You're a real, so to speak, parasite. And therefore, you got to pay for any mishap that's going to happen, whether it's your fault, not your fault. When does the term begin of sheéla? Amar l'shoél, a shoél told the mash'il, the owner, the lender, shlach, please send me your cow, please send me your washing machine, whatever, the shilcha, and he sent it. V'meisa chayiv. If he died be'onis on the way from the house of the mash'il to the house of the shoél is already chayiv, providing that the shoél requested and said, please send it. Once you are the one who initiated it, the word you send it to me makes it not the owner, makes it the shoél. That, by the way, gives a partial answer to your question, Ellen. Yeah. In other words, it's not in his house, he didn't start using it. But by verbally saying, I want your drill here, please bring your drill here now. So if it's on the way, already I'm called a shoél, and if it's struck by lightning on the way or terrorists attack it and steal it, you're chayiv. However, it's not the main issue here. The main issue now comes the punchline. V'chen, first wide line. B'shah shemachzira. Oh, what does it mean b'shah shemachzira? B'shah shemachzira, when is the shoél still chayiv in the time when he gives it back? Yeah. When do we say that actually both shoél and mashil? V'chen b'shah shemachzira also. V'chen b'shah shemachzira. Let's say the shoél, yeah, told his messenger, yeah, the shoél told someone, please give it back, yeah. Let's 1 second. The shoél gave it to a shliach to give it back to its owner, but the mashil didn't yet say from his side, send it back to me, right? The shoél already, it's left his house. He left his house, but the mashil from his side didn't, so to speak, press the button and said, give it back to me. It's all verbal. Whoever says, give it to me from either side is the one who pressed the button and is chayiv now. As long as the mashil didn't say, give it back to me, the shoél from his own accord told his child, his shliach, his someone, should be an adult child, yeah, told someone, give it back already, take the drill, honey, 15 years old, Shmuli, give it back to the neighbor, but the neighbor has no idea about it, the neighbor didn't ask for it, it's still considered belonging to the shoél, and shoél is still chayiv. It's not yet the mashil, because the mashil didn't yet from his side pull it back to his reshus by saying it. Now comes, so what do we see? The main thing we have to concentrate is the seifa. What do we say about the seifa? Again, what do we see? That the shoél's term did not end, even though it's not in his house anymore. Again, let's imagine a picture like that. I know that I finished drilling the hole, right? I told my 15 years old, 16 years old daughter, take it to the mashil, to the neighbor, to the kind neighbor who lives, let's say, 20 floors above us. Yeah, give it to him. Something happened on the way, or was robbed on the way. I'm still chayiv. Why am I still chayiv? Because as long as he didn't say, give it to me, he's not involved, the mashil, it's still under the shoél. So it looks like the termination of the sheéla is not so easy. I finished using it. It's not even in my house anymore. As long as he didn't say, give it to me, it's still considered mine, the shoéls, and I'm chayiv ba'oinsi. Okay, so it looks like it's a very long period. It's like almost never ending until it's in the house of the mashil. That's what the Mishnah says. Ad kan the Mishnah. Now, the last part that says that the sheéla is almost interminable, here there's a huge exception to the rule, huge limitation. Amar Rafram bar Papa, who's obviously an Amoira. Where do we always mention Rafram bar Papa? In the Siyum. Rav Papa had 10 sons, which we mentioned in the Siyum. Rafram was one of them. Amar Rafram Bar Papa, Amar Rav Chizda. Lo shanu. You know when is that true, that the sheéla term didn't finish? Ela shechzira b'toich yamei sheéloso. Let's say I'm supposed to use your drill and it's written and it's clear till Friday. I'm such a diligent guy, I finished it by Wednesday. So in the middle of the term, I'm still supposed to use it. It's still under me. He doesn't know about me returning it. I would, my own accord, change the deal all of a sudden. He may be happy to get it, but he has no idea about it. He didn't ask for it. And it's still in the middle. Then it's still called mine until it's really in his hands. Aval. And here comes the real punchline. Oh. If, 1 minute, please. If, here comes, and this is the main line you have to know. Let's say the same story happened, but it's Friday, 9 o'clock in the morning. Cinderella. In 1 second, automatically, the sheéla, as agreed upon, there was a clear agreement. My sheéla is till Friday, 9 o'clock. It's Friday, 9 o'clock. Turn into a pumpkin. The sheéla automatically vanishes. Automatically, there's no sheéla anymore, regardless to what happens. Which means, although I did not say, come take it, come give it, here it's yours. I said nothing. It's an automatic thing. Let's call it from now on the pariv situation. This is this guy in the middle. This guy said nothing. Yeah, this guy is the one who just doesn't, nothing was said, nothing was clearly stated. And automatically, it says in the other Mishnah we just quoted that here the term ends. Yeah, the other Mishnah says that even though nothing was said or nothing was stated, game over, but just automatically finished. Oh, and therefore, please let me ask the question. Now the Gemara is going to juxtapose the two and show us how something doesn't work right over here. There is an internal contradiction between the two Mishnayos. Why? Meisiv Rav Nachman Bar Papa, yeah, Rav Nachman's brother, Rav Nachman, is asking a question. What did we see in our own Mishnah, the top story, the smiley face? The kulan she'omru toilet shelcho behave mois. If a person, a craftsman who's really shomer, socho, clearly said, come take it. Come take it. He didn't just say, job done. Your job is over, done. Yeah, ever spoke to these unfriendly service givers? Adavar muchan, bye. Yeah, like in a certain country. Yeah, so, yeah, let's say the guy was friendly and he said, here, it's yours, come take it and pay me later. And then we say, at that point, he becomes a shomer chinam. Mashma, why? He finished by stating clearly, I want this out of my house. Now, I'm done, take it. Then he shows and he states and he declares, I'm not responsible anymore as a shomer sochor. I'm done. I become automatically shomer chinam. Gmartiv. Let's say he would be the parav case and he would just say, I'm done, goodbye, job finished, boom. If he just didn't say anything, the parav case, the middle case, mashma, he's still a shomer sochor because he didn't yet state mefurash, I'm interested in being what? Out of the job, out of the picture, come and take it. So you see a stira, you see a contradiction. Why? In our Mishnah, we see that when is game is over only when you clearly say, come take it, done, over, finished. Yeah, and you don't even have to pay. You don't have to pay. I mean, you have to pay. You pay later. I trust you to take it out of my house quickly. By the way, it's not so clear if he's friendly or just wants to get it out of his house. Quick, ASAP. To clear it away, pay me later. Then we say the term is over. Mashma, that if I didn't say come take it, then the term is not over. And yet the other Mishnah said otherwise. The Mishnah said by a shoél, once we hit the finishing point, the finishing line, 9 o'clock in the morning Friday, automatically, poof, it's over. Without him saying, I am done with your drill, please take your drill back. So that's a steal. That's a question. Okay? The other face is going to come soon. Yeah, okay. A little bit of questions. What you're saying is so beautiful and so exactly what Rashi says. I'm going to say it online. Yaakov is back in Shiur and already is showing us his prowess. Oh, very good. The Parav case has two versions. By the case of the Umnim, the guy who is who contracted the job, who is the client, yeah, who ordered the job, He's not a prophet. He doesn't know when the table is done, right? Or the suit or whatever. So then they have to inform and say job over. But it's the same thing like by a shoél. In a shoél, automatically he knows the 9 o'clock in the morning Friday arrived, came, and therefore the time is over. But it's the same thing. They're both called parav. In other words, I didn't tell him, please take it. Either you know by yourself or I told you the term is over. Poker faced. Yeah. So you see a steer about this case. Question mark. What's going to be over here? Because from our Mishnah, it's meduyak l'choira. Yeah. Only if you clearly said, come take it, you lost the crown. Mashma that are over here, yeah, you still consider to be the same old thing. In this case, you should still be the shomer socher or the shoél. It's not over from our Mishnah is mashma. Okay, that's a question. Answers the Gemara. Answers the Gemara. A brilliant answer. Answers the Gemara. Loy. No. Your diuk is wrong. You're medayek the wrong direction. Ha have ma'is v'tol es shelcha shomer socher. Oh. You know what the Mishnah is telling me? Listen to the order of words. Tricky. In this case of the Mishnah, the person says, take it and pay me later. Then, why is he considered to be a shomer chinam? Because why would a person be a shomer socher who said yesterday? Why is an uman shomer socher? He has the right to hold on to the object, use it as a collateral, as, means of pressure. As long as you don't pay, I'm holding your table, your chairs, your dress, your whatever, right? Oh, that's why if the person said, you can take it now and pay later, he's actually saying, I'm a shomer chinam, because I'm not using my rights anymore. As opposed to this case, the frown face is what? If the person said, listen, you pay me, and then take it. Not so friendly. I'm telling you first pay and then take. In that case, it's a shomer socher. In that case, it's obviously not over. Why? He's still a shomer socher because he's using what's in his hand as a collateral. So, however, in this case, the duke is the other way around. In this case, then we say that it is yes over. Yeah, very good. Look how nice it is. Yeah. If we're medayek from this way, then we say that it's not over. Why? Yeah. If we say again, in the Havamina we thought, in the question we thought, only when you tell him, come, take it, everything's good, everything's fine, then you're saying, I'm giving up on anything. Mashma, if I didn't say anything, I still hold to being shomer socher. The Mishnah, no, it's just the other way around. If I'm super non-friendly, if I'm saying I'm using that item to make sure you pay, or else I'm not giving you 1/2 millimeter of a chair or a dress or anything, then you're shomer socher, because you're using your rights to collateralize it and say I'm threatening not to give you unless you this. But in the regular case, then the term is over, just like the other Mishnah. Very good. Now all the Mishnahs are good together, just like in the Mishnah of shoél. If there was nothing said either way, it's a parav, balanced case. We said the game is over, and he's not a shomer anymore, not as much of a shomer, not a shoél. Same thing over here. Only when I hold onto it for dear life and I say, hey, only when you pay me, then I'll give you your shomer socher. My socher is the fact I can use it to make sure I get paid. But if I don't say anything, I say, job done, then automatically I still do continue. Then already I'm not a shomer socher anymore, I'm a shomer chinam. Because I didn't specifically say I'm threatening you not to give you. Then in a chinami, I'm a regular guy, just like the other Mishnahs. Everything's perfect, everything's good. If nothing said either way, then really you already lost your status and you're not a shomer socher anymore, just like over there, you're not a shoél anymore. That's what we answer. That's the diuk that should be done. Frag the Gemara now, okay, I get that. Aval, wait a second, continues the Gemara. Gemar tiv, that's Gemar tiv, the middle face. If it says, I'm done, I'm finished, hey aleph umud aleph, second line. Aval Gemar tiv, my shomer chinam, you just told me, as I told you, if he says I'm finished, is a shomer chinam, right? I'm done. I automatically lost the crown of a shomer socher. I'm a shomer chinam. If so, why did the Mishnah only say that this guy is a shomer chinam? Why did we say that the super duper friendly guy who says go take it now and pay me 10 months later? Why do we say that he's a shomer chinam? Why did we say in the Mishnah that those umnin who said take now and pay later, he's a shomer chinam? He's super the other way. He's super not using his rights, not threatening, saying take now, pay later. Only he's a shomer chinam. Why? Nishmeinan, you should mention to me the middle case. Gmartiv, tell me the middle case. What's the middle case? The poker face, the unclear case, the parav case. I'm done. When he says I'm done, I don't know what he means. He wants to keep the object, not to keep it, be paid, not be paid. Deshmin Gmartiv, tell me if that's really true. Tell me that the guy that says Gmartiv, I'm done, is what? He's already lost his crown. He's a Shemer Chinam. He lost the Shemer Sochor. The kosher controls Shilcha. And I would know that all the more so is the guy who says, take now, take, and pay later. Obviously, is the Shemer Chinam because he's clearly telling me he's not using it to collateralize. So why do you mention the so-so case? Answers the Gemara, brilliant answer. I know everything the Gemara says is brilliant, but this is like, answers the Gemara, no. You have to mention the smiley face case. You have to mention the case of the guy who says, take now and pay later. What's the chiddush? I would have thought, when we say lost the crown, stop the shmira, as we say all along consistently, doesn't mean he's not a shomer. He's not a shomer sochel, but he goes one level down to be a shomer chinam. If I would have said that this guy is a shomer sochel, let's summarize. This guy who says, your stuff is ready, mister, come pay, and then I'll give it to you. He's a shomer sochel. I'm maintaining my right to keep the stuff, and that's my sochor. I don't have to run after you anymore. You run after me, right? The middle case guy says, hey, mister, your job's ready. Thank you. Goodbye. Okay, interpret it whichever way you want. What are we saying now based on the other Mishnah? At this point, he's not a shomer sochor anymore. Because he's not clearly telling me, that he wants to keep it in order to be paid. He's not dafka using those rights of holding the object, so he's not a shomer sochor anymore. What about the other extreme? Where it says, mister, take, now, come take, and then pay? It's not necessarily out of friendliness. I would say, you know why, had the Mishnah not mentioned it, I would have said, you know why he's saying take? It means I'm not willing to look after your thing anymore because I don't have room in my backyard anymore. I don't have room in my basement anymore for this, in my workshop. Take it now, and then pay later. Meaning I'm not willing to be any kind of shomer. I have zero responsibility. That's what I would have thought. Kamashmalan. That's why the Mishnah had to tell me that even in such a case, we don't say he's a non-shomer. He says, get this out of my face now. He's saying, get it out of my face and pay later, friendly. I'm still willing to be a shomer china, but I'm not a shomer sochor anymore. Very, very nice. That's a maskone. Yeah, and then we'll see other versions of the same. Good. Now, Ikadamri. Some people learn that our Mishnah and the other Mishnah have a different way to relate to each other. What do we mean? Ikadam, some say. Omar of Nachman Bar Papa. Of Nachman Bar Papa at the beginning actually wanted to say that Mishnah over there about a shoél supports our Mishnah, that the Mishnahs are friendly together. We also learned in the Mishnah over there about a shoél the same concept as here. What did we learn? The kulan shamu tolas shelcho v'haveh mois shomer chinam. Oh, it says over there, if in our Mishnah over here it says, come, take it, tolas shelcho, go, take it right now and pay me later. So nice and friendly American service. Take, and pay me later. Is a shomer chinam. Very good. My love, hu adin gmartiv. The same thing would apply to gmartiv, which means the middle case, the parv case, done, job done, would be the same thing you consider to be a shomer chinam. In other words, why did we speak about dafka when he's super friendly and saying take now and pay later to show that he's still a shomer, but he's shomer chinam. Gmartiv is also shomer chinam. Oh, and if so, it's very good with the other Mishnah over there about a shoél. The shoél says the middle parv case is not a shoél anymore when the time hits and the time comes. And says Gemara, no, you can't say that. One could argue and say no. One could argue and say just the other way around. If you come and you tell him, go take it now and then pay me, you clearly show I'm not gaining anything from this being here. Take it. I'm not collateralizing it. I'm not using it as means of pressure. Only then it's chinam. But basically, it's the same thing, but the other way around. In other words, well, we forward the question, now is the answer, and the answer is the question. In other words, you're not forced to say, like we said at the end of the answer, that not saying anything is a shomer chinam. You could say, no, he's only a shomer chinam when he clearly says, take, I'm not interested, I don't need it here, and pay me later. But if he didn't say anything, could be still shomer sachar. Maybe he's still holding on to it. He maintained the original shmira, just like over there. And over there, we said not like that. We said that the Parav case, he lost his status of a shoél. Here comes another, and that's the third one. Huna, the third way to relate the two mishnahs to each other. And then we go to a little bit of a different topic. Huna mar bar mareimar kameda avina Rami. Huna, yeah, the son of Mareimar spoke in front of Ravina. Rami masnisin adodi. He asked the mishnayos. Rami means he, basically positioned the mishnayos one next to the other, showing a contradiction between the mishnayos. Umeshani, and he answered, Tnan, it says in the Mishnah, the kulan shomru tolos shelcho dave mois shomer chinov v'hu adin legemartiv. Again, our Mishnah says, if the person is a person who says, take, pay later, shomer chinam, I'm not holding, I'm not keeping, I'm now a shomer chinam. Same thing would be if I didn't say anything. If I said, come take it, boom, turned off, hung up the phone, that's also considered to be already, and at this point we understand, it's also considered as already shomer chinam. Okay, he's not dafka collateralizing it. And yet we see from the other Mishnah over there, Omer l'shoél shlach v'sholcho v'meisa chayev. If the shoél says, come, bring it to me at the beginning of the term, bring me the drill, give me the drill on its way from the owner's house to the shoél's house, to the borrower's house, something happened to it, we say that he is chayev, he is already called a shoél because he ordered it, he asked for it, he verbally owns it as a shoél. And the main thing, v'chen l'sho shemachzira, and you see what? The same thing, b'sho shemachzira. You see, this is what you thought, I think, Shlomo. In the time when he gives it back, the shoél, once the shoél is still considered to be a shoél, even though he already stopped using it. So you see that the sheéla status, when time is done, right? Time done, Friday 9 o'clock, we say what? Is still called a shoél. So we see it's like by us. So we see it's not like Bas, excuse me, still called a shoél. Umeshani answers Gemara, no. Omar Rafram bar Papa, what we before we said is an axiom, now is a chiddush, says Rafram bar Papa, Omar B'chiza, no. You know when he still has the status of a shoél, when he gave it back too early. If he gave it back too early, then it's still called a shoél. Until it's really in the house of the mashil, it's still within your term, you're a shoél. It's still Wednesday, Thursday. As we said before, if it's already a done deal, it's already done, over, and it's a parv situation, he's not called a shoél anymore. Just like over here we say, once he's parv, he's not a shomer sachar anymore. That's what we say. Very good. Adkan, that was the more difficult part. Yeah, and now we're going to still talk about the same subject, but from a different angle. Okay, let's go. Yeah, Iboilu. Here comes a very interesting question. Following what we said before, we all know one thing for sure. A person was a shoél, right? It was a shoél. What is the shoél chayav on? All three levels. Not only pshia, not only gneva vaveda, even oinsin, right? Who's one level below shoél? You have to have it in your mind very clear. It's not here on the chart. The chart is gone. Who's behind shoél shomer sochar? Who's below shomer sochar? Shomer chinam. You should have that in your mind. In my school, whoever didn't know it by heart, wasn't good. Yeah. In other words, childhood. No, so now the story is like this: the person is not a shoél anymore. 9 o'clock, Friday came. Friday 9 o'clock came. Boom. I'm not a shoél anymore. So what am I? I'm not chayv an oinsin if fire broke out completely unexpectedly. Chas shalom. But what did I become? Did I become a shomer sochar? Or did it automatically become 2 levels below? Was it downgraded 2 levels down to being a shomer chinam, only chayv an pshia? That's the question. Yeah, by shomer sochar, which is the craftsman, there's no question. Shomer sochar only has 1 floor below him, shomer chinam. I'm not a shomer sochar anymore, as you very nicely said. if anything happened now, got stolen or lost in normal way, I'm not chayiv. I'm only chayiv what? By the way, guys, I want to answer your question a little bit off the rock. Yeah, you can all listen to Ellen's question. The fact that the person, the craftsman, is only a shomer chinam because he said the stuff is yours, will definitely encourage the owner, the one ordering the job, to come quickly and not wait for 3 months. Why? Because the one looking after it is only shomer chinam, and if anything happens, gneva vaveda is already going to be potter. So that's an incentive for him to come quickly. Yeah, okay. What? No, it's not Baltolin. Baltolin is if he took it. Mishnah Berurah says in Ilchus Shabbos, it's not Baltolin. No. In other words, if I don't come to take the dress or to take the table, and then therefore I didn't pay, it's not called holding back someone's money. Mitzad Baltolin. No. Only once I took it. Okay. No. But if I didn't take it, I'm not mechuyev yet. No. If I didn't take the item, I'm not in mechuyev. No, no. That's at least Mishnah Berurah in Reish Mem Gimel. Yeah. Okay. Maybe I'll ask him. Right. Again, Ibailu, question. Potter mishoél the chayiv k'shem socho. When the person finished being a shoél at the end of the term, did he automatically, was he downgraded to be a shomer socher chayiv on what? Gneva vaveda. Or dil shomer socher nami loy havi. Maybe he's not even a shomer socher, but only a shomer chinam, only chayiv on pshia. That's a question. Omar Amemar says Amemar Yesoid, which will follow us all the way through. Mistaba makes sense to me, says Amemar. Mistaba potter mishoél v'chayiv k'shem socher. I think that the person, even though he finishes sheéla term, still holds the middle level of a shomer socher. Why? Says the big yesoid, hoil v'nene mehane, not mehane but mehane, which means the fact that, why is a shoél chayav on everything? Yeah, let's say from Sunday till Friday 9 o'clock, drilling, without having to pay. What fun! Real parasite, parasite's paradise. Yeah, what really? He's having all the fun without paying anything. That's why it's chayav on anything. Oh. 9 o'clock came, in the middle of the drilling, he's not allowed to drill anymore, that's it. But Lamaisa, in that, the new stage, the new era in his life, is still continuing because he enjoyed nehene, because he benefited for free up until now, even though now it's not benefiting anymore. Why is it in his house? Yeah, his 3 years old kid would ask him, Daddy, why is the drill in our house? What's he doing here? He didn't come here to look after it. The drill is here because it came here to benefit, to pleasure, to give me the benefit. So that still holds on till the real end, till the guy comes and picks up the drill, because you enjoyed it up until now. That enjoyment is enough to make your shomer socho, because that's a socho. It's as if you paid now and enjoyed it later. Yeah, if I pay, yeah, and then I get the item, it's still called socho. Now it's still called a barter. The fact that you enjoyed it up until now still stays with us. We still take that into consideration. Even though now you're not drilling anymore, you're not driving anymore, you're not using it anymore, it's still mehane. Mehane means it still helps. It still renders you, it still defines you as a shomer socho. And we're going to see more examples, and we'll see as we go along. So even though the socher is Sunday, the enjoyment, the hano, is Sunday till Friday, and now it's already been Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, and the drill is still there. It's still called a shomer socher, because be'etzem it came here in order to give me schar, to give me hano. That hano still gives me the status of a shomer socher all the way to the very end, when the item will be out of my house. That's the logic. Shomer socher, and therefore he'll have to pay for gneva vaveda, and therefore lost or stolen, he'll have to pay. Let's see a very interesting case also in the Dorim, a brisa that supports Amimar's words. First wide line. Imagine yourself, I think it would be a very nice example, a jeweler. A chassan, nice chassan, all starry-eyed, all excited about the chassan and his kala, and also excited about his shver and shviger, science fiction. Yeah, and now he went to the jeweler, yeah, and now he is interested in giving sibloinos. Sibloinos is almost a halachic term of gifts given to the kala before the actual chuppah, the time between the erisin and the chuppah. Now this guy, the chassan, buys some, let's say, jewelry from Beis Uman, from the craftsman, in order to send them, to give them to the household of his shver and shviger and the kala. Let's say he wants to give jewelry to the kala. Now, The chosen's big dilemma, and some people it's the same dilemma even after 30 years. Will she like the jewelry or not? Can you know she's going to like the jewelry? That's a very, very hard bet, right? The Omer Loy, the chosen tells the craftsman, the jeweler, I'm now going to set the money, the amount of money I'm going to give you. I'm doing meshicha. However, it's not a done deal. If my kala and her parents they like the jewelry, then I'll give you the money. I'll come back and give it that. The jewelry will stay by them. She'll be all starry-eyed, and the money will go to you. The imlav ani noisen lechol if you tovas hanosha behen. Which means, let's say they don't like it. Let's say the kala says, "Oh, thank you so much, but it's not my taste." What a nice way to start the marriage. But she says, "No, I'm not makabel," or the mother doesn't like it. However, there's tovas hano. What's tovas hano? The mere fact that it gives tachshitim makes them appreciate him more. Look, the guy cares about her. The guy has money. He's a nice guy. Bad taste in jewelry, not my taste in jewelry. I don't like the size, but lamaisa, they appreciate the fact that there's that type of sana that he feels choshev in their eyes. Yeah, they appreciate the thought, as they say, even though they don't get it. That I'll have to pay you also. Get what I'm saying? Let's say the jewelry is $5,000, nice and cheap. Yeah, and if they receive it and she wears it on her hands and everything, I'll come back with 5,000. And if she says, "Oh, it's really sweet of you, nice of you, and now I love you so much more, but I don't like the jewelry because I don't. That's not out of fashion, the peach color or whatever." Then what? I won't give you 5,000. I'll give you 1,000 because 1,000 psychological hano of her and them liking me more and seeing me as choshuv and doing the obligation of sibonus is also worth something. That was the agreement. That was the agreement. There's a word for it in English. I forgot, right? If you pay, yeah, no, I meant something else. Whatever. It's a business thing. That no, there are people, but consignment, right? I only pay for what I sell and not other consignment. That's what I meant, right? Now, what happened? Listen to the very big thrilling story. Venensu, Lolenu, on the way from Manhattan, from the jewelry store to Bava Park. What happened? Nensu, somebody robbed him. Oh, Behalicha Chayev. On his way there, he's Chayev. Why is he Chayev? Let's say he was robbed. He's not exactly a shoél, but him, the chosen with the jewelry was robbed against, not within his power. Oines, he'll have to pay full money to the guy. Why? Because you kilu are the owner. The assumption is that I am buying it from you because, says Rashi, two conditions. They set a very clear price, $5,031.5 yeah. And what? There was Mashiach. We assume it is a done deal, and I asked three of her friends. I'm joking, yeah. She likes that color, most probably yes. Therefore, it's once I'm out of your shop, the assumption is I'm the owner of the jewelry. If you're the owner, Nensu, of course, it's like you pay for yogurt in Osher Ad. Of course, you have to pay them, even though the yogurt a day later burst in your fridge, right? Lokashu. The chazira potur. Oh, however, on the way back from there, she didn't like it. He goes back to the shop, all sad-faced, back to the jeweler in Manhattan. After she says, "Thank you so much, but no," then he's potur from oinsin. But punchline, why is it noise sochor? He's still considered a shomer sochor, although not a shoél or an owner. He's not an owner because it's a no, and he has to give it back to the shop. But because of the original hana, when he came to the door and they opened the door and he opened the box, everyone says, "Wow, it's so nice of you. What an amazing guy. You invested in her. What a good chosan. I just happen not to like the size of the collar." But that enjoyment, although that happened, let's say, a day ago, lemaisa, that enjoyment still keeps us halachically defining him as a shomer sochor. Same thing, or even all the more so by a shoél. Although you finished with using the drill, yeah? But lemaisa, you still, the term, that enjoyment keeps us calling you a noise sochor, shomer sochor, even though you're not a shoél. Okay, another case, another story, which will clarify it even more. Now a real life story, yeah? So far was a theoretical story from a brisa. Here there was a real story, also from the Dorim. Oh, Gava, there was a man. This is more like a consignment mefurish. It's mamish a business deal, not like a chosen kala. A person sold a chamra. You know what chamra means? Either wine or a donkey. So here the Rashi in the Dorim says it means a donkey. Yeah, somebody sold a donkey to his friend, and again consignment. Omerle kamamtina leduchta ploini. I'm not interested in using the donkey. I'm a donkey dealer. Yeah, I want to take it to duchta. What's duchta? To a place. I want to take it to so and so place. Im is davna mutav. If I sell it there, great. Then I'll pay you 10,000 shekels for the donkey. Yeah, deal. I'm sorry. If it doesn't go well, I don't manage to sell it in the let's say marketplace in Beersheba, wherever he wants to sell it. I'll give it back to you and we'll depart as good friends. Simple. Yeah, I think that's consignment, right? In other words, if I manage to sell the donkey, you'll get all the money, right? Or whatever, you takes a cut, and if I don't sell it, then I'll give the donkey back to you and we'll say it will depart as friends. Okay. What? You call it what? Sell and return. Okay, fine, call it whatever. I accept. Ozal, listen to the story. Ozal, Velois Dabna. He went to that marketplace over the donkeys and the people and the thing. No, he tried and tried, didn't manage to sell it. Okay, so far. Ubehadi de kooso itnis. Oh, on his way back from the market, all sad face that he didn't manage to sell it. On his way to give it back the schoira to the original seller, then itnis, there was an oinus. There's a matzav of oinus of what? The donkey was stolen by a robber with 3 guns. What can he do? What's the halacha? Also, Rav Nachman. Who was Rav Nachman? A dayan. They went to Rav Nachman to ask the question. Chayve. Wow. He said he's still considered a shoél. He's still considered a shoél. And what? L'choira, that's very strange. Because at that point, maybe he's a shomer socher. Why? Yeah, he's still considered keilu, is mechayiv him like a shoél or like a person who owns the donkey. Remember what we said before about it's even more than a shoél, excuse me. He's mamish like an owner, right? In other words, what did we say about the chosin and the jewelry? If you're on the way to the kala, assuming she'll get it, assuming things will go well, then you are the owner. If other things will happen otherwise, it will be different. An owner has to pay. If I had full kinyan from you, and in my house the chamor burst open, whatever, of course I have to pay you. But here that's strange, because he's on his way back, and everybody knows it's not a business deal anymore. He should be at best shomer socher. Why is he chayav be'oinsin? Eis ve'Rabbi Rav Nachman, Rabbi attacks, not attacks, he's asking Rav Nachman, Nensu b'halicha chayav b'chazor potur, if the shekhanais is socher. Just like with the chosin and the jewelry we saw a minute ago, that if it's not a done deal and she doesn't like it, I'm coming back to the jeweler. And what's my status? I'm a shomer socher because there was enjoyment here too. Same thing. It was going to sell the donkey, but he's not selling it anymore. He's on his way to give it back to the original guy. At best, he's a shomer socher because he had the fun of being able to sell it to people. At the end, the fun's over, game over, and he's not selling it. Why do you still consider him as a shoél or an owner? That much he didn't lose the status? Isn't game over? Says a brilliant answer. Omerly, no. Chazar dehai halichahi. This guy who comes back from the market, the real soicher of the donkeys, it's as if he's on his way to sell the donkey. Why? My time, Svaro, it's a svara, simple logic. B'chazirosoi, when he comes back, that's a punchline now, guys. The chazirosa, when he comes back to the original supplier, ilu ashkech lizbune miloy zabena. Let's say he's on his way from Beersheba to the Bet Shemesh to give the chamor back to the guy. If he meets a person in the street that wants the donkey, of course he'll sell it to him. A good businessman always looks for business opportunities every second. It's never over until it's in the hands of the real supplier at the beginning. Get it? In other words, why am I considered as the owner and then the chuiv and everything? Because I'm always on my way to sell it. So although I didn't manage to sell it in the specific place, on my way back, of course I would still like to sell it to whoever's interested, as opposed to the kala. The kala hopefully has only one kala, and she doesn't like the color. Yeah, in other words, that's it. They're clearly game over. There's a dichotomy. She doesn't want the jewelry anymore. She told you she doesn't like peach Singapore color, all these colors that only women know about, and she doesn't like this size. Gendik, she's not going to get it and finished, right? Mimela over there, Gamarnu, what is it considered now? He's now definitely not an owner at best shomer socher. But Sheikhan the soicher, mapitom. His soicher always wants to sell it. So even though he didn't manage to sell it in the original place where he wanted to, now he may sell it in other places and therefore he's still called an owner until the very last moment, and he has to pay for any oinsi. Very good. Now comes the Gemara with another question, another quote. Shmar li ve'eshmor lecho shomer sochor. A new quote from the Mishnah, new part of the Mishnah. Shmar li ve'eshmor lecho. What does that mean? A person told his friend, you look after my cat, and I will look after your mouse. Yep. Let's say shmor li ve'eshmor lecho. You look after my thing, I look after your thing. Shomer sochor. Why is it shomer sochor? Clearly, although I wasn't paid to look after your cat, but lamaisa, I'm looking after your cat in condition, you look after my computer. Yeah. Then what? Then for it's a sochor. Sochor is not always money. Sochor can be barter. So the shomer sochor with all the conditions of shomer sochor. What shomer sochor? Chai b'gneva v'aveda. Before we continue, let me introduce to you to an idea which I'm sure you've heard about and know about in general. There's a concept in all four shomerim, possibly also shomer chinam. It's called be'olav imoy. The Torah says mefurish shepashas mishpatim im be'olav imoy. If the owner of the object, if im ein be'olav imoy, actually it says im ein be'olav imoy. Let's say a person. The Torah talks about a shoél. A person borrowed again a drill. Yeah, person borrowed a drill. Okay, now the drill was borrowed. As I was borrowing the drill, the owner of the drill, who lives 2 floors below me, is doing a job for me, either paid or non-paid. He's doing a job for me. He's doing me a favor, and in his house or in my house, wherever, he's doing something for me. Yeah, let's say, what does he do? He's a tailor. So I'll give an example. He's stitching, making a new suit for me, right? It's a very interesting din. The Chavisar says it's the most unclear, unbelievable din in the Torah, which we don't understand. Lamaisa, if the person, the mash'il, the owner who lent me the drill, the car, the cat, the whatever he lent me, at that time of the lending is doing a job for me, then I'm potter for anything that would happen to the item. Well, definitely I'm potter from oinsim and geneva v'aveda. It's a very difficult halacha to understand, but that's halacha how Chazal interpret the words of the Torah. Moreover, the Gemara says it doesn't only apply to shoél, also applies to shomer sochor and possibly shomer chinam. That's a question. Some say even shomer chinam. So again, if by the time when Sunday 9 o'clock in the morning, yes, Sukkot is coming, and then it's a ritual every year. I actually do that. I don't own a drill because I'm not so good with drills in my hands. I borrow the drill from my neighbor. Yeah, so my son-in-law can build the sukkah because that even that I don't know. Yeah. So then what? I borrow the drill. If by the time when I borrow the drill, around the same time, the neighbor who lends me the drill is now doing a job for me, paid or not paid, that will be discussed. The master is doing a job for me. I don't know. He's washing the floors for me, doing something for me. Then anything that would happen to the drill, I'm potter. Wow. Whether oinsim or gneva v'aveda. Yeah. Difficult to understand. If we have time, we'll go to the Ashkofa. We don't have time actually. So the Yomi, the greatest of all times from Germany, the Yomi says that he doesn't understand why, because it seems to be very illogical, against logic. The guy's doing you a big favor. Not only is mashili to you, he's lending it to you, right? Also, he's doing you another favor by doing a job for you, and we are so we're such an ingrate of not paying him for the mess up that happened with the shoél. However, that's what the Torah says, and the Chavisar says doesn't understand it. I saw another perush, like a footnote of the Chavisar, and he says something interesting. He says, we saw in the story of the Chamo, of the mountain and all that, we saw there's a concept of mazel. Remember, if the government takes the Chamo from the person, is it the borrower's mazel or the owner's mazel? So not mazel. Yeah, mazal is luck or fate. So he says something interesting. When there was a clear transfer, between the owner and the borrower, and then some mishap happened by the borrower, but the borrower came a robber came to him, and the fire broke. It's his bad luck, and therefore he has to pay. But if at the time the borrower employed the owner of the drill, so now Itkilo never left completely the ownership of the drill owner. So it's also his bad mazel. Interesting idea. Whatever. That's not the main issue. Just we don't have time. So I'm just anyway. Tomorrow we're starting Shmor Li V'Shmor Lecho. Remember, pay Aleph Amud Aleph. Shmor Li V'Shmor Lecho. Yeah, in other words, so the Gemara's question is going to be, and I'll leave you in great suspense. If I tell you, Ellen, please look after my computer, and I will look after your phone, then what? We say we're shomer socher. But why? If you're doing a job for me, then I should be potter, right? If we decide at the same time, 1, 2, 3, barter, then while I'm looking after your phone, you're looking after your computer, you're doing a job for me. So I should be potter, right? Because we said if the owner does a job for the lender and vice versa, then in this case it's double, both sides. They should be potter. That's a question. Da 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 da. Thank you very much to everybody here, all the beautiful friends we have here in Abbas Shalom. Thank you to the YouTube subscribers, everyone. Subscribe. Press the button. And also Torah Anytime viewers. Thank you all very, very much. Atzlocha Abbas. See you tomorrow, Thursday. More about Bava Metzia. Thank you. Great day.
This is